We're on.
Yeah.
Aye. That
All
guy.
right. Good afternoon, Grantville Nation. This is the second interview of hopefully 5 interviews of the candidates that are seeking office in the city of Grantville. This afternoon, I am pleased to introduce you to a very wonderful lady that is running for post 4 of the City of Grantville Council seats. Please let me introduce you to Ms. Sandra Luttrell. Ms. Luttrell, I've known you for, gosh, 18 years. Time flies.
It sure does, a long time.
Yeah. I've always been admired by your community spirit. Your resume of volunteering is second to none. But before we get to your activities, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, went to school?
I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. I was raised and grew up in a small community, College Park, Georgia. I attended the local schools, North Clayton in high school in Riverdale, and went on from there and married at a young age and had 4 beautiful children that I'm proud of, and went to work at various corporate operations. Georgia Life Insurance Company was one of the biggest ones back then, and from there, eventually I married Edward Luttrell, and we lived in Palmetto for a while, and then we decided to move, and we started looking for cities to choose. We had anywhere we wanted to go, and we were looking at Franklin, Georgia, and Grantville. And for some reason, we were always pulled to Grantville to make it our hometown.
Right. And say hello to Eddie. He's a United States Army veteran.
Yes, he is.
Purple Heart recipient.
Purple Heart, bronze with a V, and many more.
V is for valor, folks.
Yes, it is.
All right. And you've been involved quite a bit in veteran organizations also, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've worked with the veterans in Tuskegee, Alabama, and in Atlanta at the VA hospital. Mostly helping and directing them in a certain area for their benefits, to know exactly where to go and what to do, and helping them fill out paperwork that they needed.
That's great. Being a veteran myself, that's such a need. And here in Grantville, we really don't have, an office. You got to go to Noon and you got to go to LaGrange. Here in Grantville, Mrs. Luttrell, you've been appointed to the DDA, that's a Downtown Development Authority, the Grantville Historical Preservation Committee, the Ethics Board, a member of the Kiwanis, the Recreation Advisory Board, maybe more, but I think it's safe to say that you have your finger on the pulse of the city. Please tell us how this experience and this volunteerism will help you in your responsibilities as a council lady.
Well, my heart is here in Grantville for what is best for the citizens and the city. And in doing so on these committees and boards, I feel like I've learned a lot in the process of how meetings should be held. I've learned ordinances, and I know from experience I've talked to citizens and involved with them in the certain aspects of the HPC and the advisory board of the REC. So I believe it's an asset that I have worked and donated and volunteered my time on those boards and committees.
Absolutely. Let's get to, if you don't mind, let's get to some of the questions that the members have posted.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay. Linda Moore has mentioned the situation in Grantville, or the lack of internet, high-speed internet. She lives on the outskirts of Grantville, and they've got a problem there. I believe some of them only have dial-up. They don't even have DSL. And of course, the cable companies, they're not providing anything except basic cable. So with the low speeds and very high cost of satellite service, would you be in favor of retaining a consultant to review our needs? And any thoughts you have on that issue?
Yes, I would be for that. That is something that is very important that we need in Grantville for the citizens and for growth and the youth on down the line. And I have recently, I'm not sure it's true, I haven't had time to check it out, but the small town of Arnco has internet service, which is quite good. And I'm not sure if Arnco has connection like that, why Grantville could not have. So that is something that definitely needs to be looked into, and I'm very serious about that, because that is a big part of us of growing to be a bigger city than we are now.
And attracting development.
Well, that's what I mean. That's the growth part I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay. James Kittner asked, will you attend meetings? He indicates this continuation of lack of interest by some of the councilmen of not showing up. Can you tell us a little bit about your record with these different organizations that you belong to?
I have never missed a meeting that was scheduled for any of the board or organization that I've been connected to. I have been in a meeting where no one else showed up but me, but I was there. I will always be at all the meetings scheduled. And usually I am early or I'm on time. And if I'm late and you haven't heard from me, someone better go looking, because something's wrong.
Yes, I know. I would go to the HBC meetings, and you'd be the one there. So, okay. If you don't mind, Mrs. Luttrell, in your own words, can you tell us a little bit about your vision or some of the things that are issues in your campaign and why you're running?
Well, number one, the reason I decided to run, that really pushed me into doing so, is I've gone to the council, before the council, several times, being an advocate for the families and citizens here about the utility bills and the high utilities and the cutoffs, and it seemed to fall on deaf ears. And I had even gave a solution that I thought may help, and they didn't even discuss it among themselves afterwards, what I had suggested. So after that, I just decided the only way to really help the citizens with the utility situation was to run for office myself. That is one reason. The other priorities of mine to research and go forward on, and we then spoke about the internet service, which is definitely needed, and we need growth in the right direction. I don't want neon signs on Main Street downtown, but we need growth of the right kind. And I think even small businesses coming off the interstate, in my mind, would even have a draw to downtown Main Street, my idea. And of course, they have something in downtown around Main Street to attract tourists. I'd like for the movie industry to come back. I think that's a plus for the city. And then also the mill. I think the mill, if the city could acquire it, would be definitely a big asset to the city in more ways than one, many ways. So that needs to be pursued. Can I go on?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I go on
yes,
and on.
I'm sorry.
There's just so so much. And the empty doctor's office that we have, at one time we had a doctor there, and then we didn't have the pharmacy. And now we have the pharmacy, and we do not have a doctor. So I would like to pursue, speak to Piedmont and see if we can arrange and persuade and get a doctor to come back to Grantville, where our citizens would have both that they need, a pharmacy and a doctor in the city. The police department, I don't have any qualms with the police department. I think we have a good police department. I feel safe in the city. I think they do a wonderful job. I would like for them to stay on the interstate a little more. I really don't know how much they are on the interstate. But I think that is a plus, that they should be on the interstate more. And as for buying new police cars, when needed, I think we should. But in the meantime, I think, and I don't know their maintenance program, but I would like to see them keep up regular maintenance where it would prolong the life of the police car itself.
Okay. There's a lot of rancor downtown now concerning employees and who's doing what and who's not doing what, you know, and it spills up into the utilities. You know, people are frustrated and rightly or wrongly, you know, they'll accuse a city clerk of this or that. But one thing that I see is we spent, and I'm using round figures here, $130,000 for a software upgrade. Then we spent another $20,000 for another upgrade. Then we spent $30,000 training people. And now, for $1,300 a month, it's my understanding that we're farming out the utility bills. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but to think, you know, just a few years back, when we had 2 people in the office doing that. What's going on here?
Well, I don't know what's going on exactly, because again, if elected, I'm hoping to learn more of what goes on the inside. A lot of wasted money, that's wasted money, what you just quoted. The software that we had years ago, when you were speaking of 2 ladies in the office, I'm not sure why we even changed it. I'm not sure. I know Grantville has grown some since then, so possibly there might be more work than there was at that certain time. But there were 3 people in the office at that time, wasn't there?
Yes, it was.
There was.
But those 2 were, you know, the main. I call them the gold standard that we have in Grantville.
But again, the cross training. I think you had those 2, and always one could always give an answer if the other one wasn't there. If you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And now that's not being done. There's not cross training. If one person is absent or gone to the doctor's office, you may have to wait till the next day to get your answer. And I don't think that's right for a city. The city should never stop the wheels turning. We're not a five and dime store, we're a city, and it needs to be acting like a true city. Phones should always be answered, and someone should always have an answer for any question that comes to the office. That's the way I feel.
How do you feel about, it seems like we got this hodgepodge of sidewalks. You know, we got a strip of sidewalks here, a strip there, and I I notice people, they like to walk here in Grantville. Would you be supportive of expanding a sidewalk program for the citizens?
Yes, I would be. Before expanding, we need to resolve the problem of the sidewalks we have now. Repair them where they're needed, and there are repairments that are badly needed. So, to me, it wouldn't take that much time to do that, and then go on from there and expand to more sidewalks for the citizens. And that would be great.
Okay. Concerning historical preservation, you know, we've got a couple of gems left. We pretty much sold a lot of our property that's city owned, but the gym at City Hall, the auditorium, the freight depot, the passenger depot, you know, that's our identity, and of course the mill. Would you be in favor of spending funds to restore these buildings?
Yes, I would. Also, besides funds, there will be grants looked at and participated in writing, and to help finish these projects. Like the auditorium was started, but it wasn't finished. The gym has just been sitting there. A lot of things get put on the back burner and nothing goes forward from there. It's just like it's forgot about and it's left undone. So yes, I would, and it'd be a great idea, and it would be an asset to the city for those buildings to be used for various different reasons.
I don't know of any grant that we've gotten of any substantial amount in recent time. Three Rivers will write grants. I think the gentleman told me 10 or 15%. I think Georgia Municipal Association will aid or help in developing of grants, but I see this void here in Grantville. We don't have anybody to write grants. We don't have anybody to address the internet issue. We don't have anybody to address our information technology, our computer programs here. I think we need outside help.
We do. Speaking of the grants, you know, and we talked about training, what we spent on training. Now that would be a good issue to come forward and send one of our employees to be trained in writing grants, or even the HPC. They have not had any training. There's been a few meetings years ago that we attended, but I think that would be an asset to the city if they took one of the commission or an employee and have them trained in writing grants. Let them find out and research and train to do that. That would help. But yes, in the other aspects, we do need experienced help in some of these to give solutions.
And it's, the world's moving at such a fast pace. You know, we're always playing catch up. And those of us who are computer literate, we can't keep up. So I think we probably need some real good direction in this area. You know, another issue is compensation for employees. I think, well, how do you feel about performance reviews? You know, let's say every 3 months or 4 months, we review employees and connect their salaries with their competence level. Go ahead.
Well, that isn't something that I have thought about, but that's a good idea. It's a very good idea, but I have not thought about that. I've never worked at a company that did that. I know you had, 6 months probation, and if you didn't do your job at that time, you did not get to stay there. So they judged your performance the first 6 months. But of course, I guess if someone did not go on from there and did not do their job correctly, I imagine that they would have let them go. So that's a good idea. I would not be against it, and it may help in the long run.
And last time we had a council meeting, we didn't have a quorum. But what was interesting is on the agenda, we had something that really surprised me. They were going to discuss the progress of a filter for one of the spray ponds. That, along with, an item like a little library, I just don't see where this warrants council activity. It seems like it's too minuscule of a problem. Is there any way that maybe we can just, have council people show up and have serious issues discussed?
Well, I agree. I think it was mentioned before. It seems like the city manager and the department that is over that area of the pump should be able to make decisions in that area itself and not be put on the agenda. But of course, in the little library, of course, if a council person request goes on the agenda, I imagine it has to go on the agenda. And sometimes it makes you wonder, like, there is more important issues.
Right.
Not saying that the little library is an important issue.
Right. I hope nobody throws a rock in my window. I'm with the library also, and a filter, but it just seems to me like those are things that could be handled on a lower level. Okay. What are some of your hobbies, Sandra? I know you love the garden.
Yes, I garden a good bit, and I love to decorate. Christmas is my big thing, and
You got that right.
I usually start, right about now, decorating. I like to cook and bake, and it seems like politics in the city has been my hobby for quite a while now, for a few years.
All right. Well, folks, that concludes our second interview. Up next will be Councilman Mark King with his vision for the city. Please stay tuned to Grantville Nation for all your political news and all the news that's fit to print. God bless you, and thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Oh, you run off too quick.
That's okay. See, I can edit all that.